welcome world. This is the Infinite Sofa. I'm Stuart Goldsmith, and this is my massively interactive chat show with the very best comedy performers from all around the world. Tonight we have Ireland, the US, France, Southend-on-Sea, and the sea itself. You're watching on Twitch via infinitesofa.com. You can also find links there to watch previous episodes on YouTube. Episodes, that's a bit of terminology. You'll catch up. You can watch them on YouTube, which now that I'm exclusive to Twitch, I don't hate. I feel sorry for it. A bit like I look down on it, like you might do at a younger sibling that's been caught with porn. Join us in the chat, not least because the people in there are wonderful and have already said nice things like Stu should be in Taskmaster. Well, funny story, I actually came second in the second ever live Taskmaster before it was some bloody TV show, when it was real, back in the day, when it was a live experience. And I lost to that bitch, Josie Long. A story for another time. That's the only context in which the sentence, that bitch, Josie Long, makes any sense at all. Join us in the chat. Also, halfway through the show, producer Callum is going to switch the chat to follower only, like a bastard. So please make sure you're following, because that means if you are a follower, you not only teach the Twitch algorithm that you like comedy, as well as whatever kawaii animal bullshit you're addicted to, you might still be able to participate in the chat, which is worth considering, especially when you get to ask questions of my guests tonight on the show. I'm just so thrilled to be giving you this rundown. Marcel Lucont, Dara Briain, Elf Lyons as a sea monster, Richard Sandling, possibly as a sea monster, maybe it's just him, and Daredevil Chicken. Watching them with me are these members of the public who join me on the sofa tonight. And if you would like to be one of them, we'll tell you how later on. Let's find out all about tonight's sofa. Raise your hands, ladies, gentlemen, and people of all sizes, colours, creeds, nations, and folk. I'm getting better at inclusivity, but I still haven't learned to get out of ladies and gentlemen fast enough. Ladies and gentlefolk, do me a favour and raise your hand if you have a startling fact about yourself, which sounds like it's absolute bullshit, but it's actually true. We're going to go to Anne-Marie in the wilds of Scotland. Great to see you again, Anne-Marie. Thanks for coming back on the show. What's your crazy fact? Thank you for
having me. My mum is better than the Incredible Hulk.
I like it. I'm going to need more.
Okay. Well, when I was 4, I was in a road traffic accident. A van fell on top of me. My mum came out of the house, it was Sunday morning, wearing a beautiful 1930s silk negligee, other story.
Great detail. Carry on.
Picked up the van and lifted it off me. And I was completely unharmed.
Mother Hubbard, give it up for Anne-Marie and her mum, ladies and gentlemen. My God. That's so great. I mean, you've set the bar alarmingly high there. Who's going to be brave enough to put their hand up again? Tim is new to the sofa. Whereabouts are you watching in, Tim? Where are you?
South London.
South London. Which bit of South London? Let's zero in on Tim.
I mean, Croydon. Don't hate me all at once.
Unbelievable. Absolutely classic Croydon move. South London. Don't worry, I used to live in East Dulwich or Peckham, depending on whether you're trying to buy or sell. What have you got for us, Tim?
Darth Vader was my babysitter.
I'm going to go with...
Can I just say, I think I just won.
Okay, whoa. We will be the judges of that. We will be the judges of that and everything else. Tim, do us a favour. I'm going to guess that you mean either Dave Prowse, the guy in the suit, or James Earl Jones. Please be James Earl Jones.
I mean, please be James Earl Jones, but it's Dave Prowse, just up the road.
He was your babysitter.
Once for 2 minutes, but that counts, right?
Yeah, baby. Once for 2 minutes, probably safest, given that man's force choking.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the end of that.
Incredible. Everyone just giggled there, and I feel like if you don't know the Star Wars universe, force choking sounds fucking horrific.
I don't want to be picky, but who doesn't know the Star Wars universe?
Well, let's find out. Hands up on the sofa if you are less familiar with the Star Wars universe. It's Flossie. Hey, Flossie, how you doing? You're from Australia, but currently residing in Britain. Tell us a crazy fact about yourself and explain why the fuck you don't know anything about Star Wars.
I have never seen a Star Wars film in my life.
I don't know who the baddies are.
Is that a policy decision? Is that one of those things where you hadn't seen any, you realised it was a big deal, and then you sort of set your jaw and went, fuck these guys, I'm not going to buy it?
One part being too cool for it, but mostly just because Australia's really big and there's heaps of shit to do.
Compelling argument. Very compelling indeed. Before we go any further, let's just open this to the Twitch chat. Everybody in the Twitch chat. Ms. Babka says, my uncle was an early bassist in Queen. They replaced him with John Deacon. Probably the right move. My God, fantastic. And there's been a merch suggestion for the sentence, once for 2 minutes. That counts. I don't mind it. Let's have another quickie before we start the show in traditional fashion. Who has got their hand up, please, for a fact about yourselves? It's Bean. Ladies and gentlefolk, here's Bean. What's your fact?
I once had to cancel a Valentine's date because I got a better offer in that I got to have Valentine's dinner with Sir Ian McKellen.
Wow, can someone clip me doing that and turn it into some sort of moving T-shirt? I quite like the way I went. I was kind of playing it, but it also felt like it started organically. I don't know if you can get moving T-shirts. Let's find out. Sir Ian McKellen. Here's my one. I've got a Sir Ian McKellen fact. Sir Ian McKellen has seen me in my underwear. It's true. I was an actor for all of 10 minutes, and Sir Ian McKellen brings his mother every year to a theatre that I was performing at, and I was doing a play called Sailor Beware, in which I played a Scotsman called Carnoustie with the way I did it, offensive accent. How did you end up, Bean? How did you end up doing having a Valentine's dinner with Serena McKellen?
Well, I used to work for the LGBT association at my university. I was communications, and because I was the only person who really communicated with the higher ups at the university, I was the member. I was like one of 3 student representatives that got to go to the dinner with Sir Ian McKellen.
Oh, sweet angle, sweet angle. And I tell you what, I'm really, in the back of my mind, I'm cooking up one of those things where you go, like you deliberately troll nerds. And I'm a bit of a nerd, but it's fun to deliberately troll nerds. Where you go, oh, that's incredible. So it's a real Star Wars theme tonight, what with Ian McKellen, who, of course, was the Emperor. So moving on. Ian Wood says, I mean, Stu, you have to do your Scottish accent now. Well, because I had a little Scottish granny, she used to say, hold your wisht, which means to like, hold your breath. She used to save your breath to cool your porridge. Isn't that sweet? Had a lot of time in prison. Now, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back to some of these in a little while. Feel free, by the way, if you're watching at home, we're all at home. If you're watching at home, feel free to support the show. At 8:40 p.m. tonight, the biggest donor to the show is going to teleport into the show and join us in time for a celebrity interview with Mr. Dara O'Brien, ladies and gentlemen. So, and gentlefolk, my sweet friends. If you are enjoying the show, you can support it. We're on Twitch front page, so loads of you will be new to this. And what we're doing here is a sort of fun. Basically what's happened is producer Callum has said, "Explain show to new people?" ? I've started doing that without really knowing why or what he means. Here's the show. It's me. It's this. There's guests. Fucking 5 guests. And then at the end, we all make love. Do we? Can you say that on Twitch? I know he's saying now. Now I tell you what he's saying. He's saying Twitch front page, new people. I know that, producer Cal. I say, what do you mean? Explain the show. What is there to explain? Let's find out. Let's go over to Germany and Matthias. Matthias, can you explain the show? You've got such a way with words.
This show is just gathering in time of isolation.
That is kind of part of it, but there's just something about the way Matthias speaks. Everyone leans forward in their chair. It's gathering in time of isolation, but I think the main thing to point out is that these people, I did say this, but I'll just underline this. These are 12, I keep saying 12, are they? 14 members of the public who are joining the show to provide a sort of sofa guest show. It's kind of like Graham Norton meets Gogglebox, but don't fucking pitch that to telly, because that's mine. All of these people are going to help me just create something new and wonderful, and pretty much the opposite of isolation, because it is a gathering. While we're with you, Matthias, can you tell us a fact about yourself that sounds made up but is actually true?
Well, besides working in a nursing home, I am a part-time opera singer.
Oh, shit. Well, if you are unfamiliar with this show, as many thousands of you will be, we've got a strong core audience of about 20. But for those of you that are new, Matthias and many people on the sofa tonight have been on the sofa before. We gradually get to learn their identities. We get to learn the rich tapestry of their characters. And hopefully, all being well, 6 months from now, this launches upwards of 30 careers on Twitch. And then they become competitors. I crumble into the twisted old drunk man. And then Matthias kills me with a hammer, but I'm fucking ready. All right? They also have a look at their work and think, is this just a coping strategy? Now, the point that oh, Jesus Christ, let's just quickly go to Matthias, who was, he's been to a hammer fight before. He's been to a hammer fight. Who preps 2 hammers? That's like that bit in Harry Potter when Han Solo does it. Anyway, so you donate to the show to support the show to help keep the show alive and help us keep doing it. But if you donate by $8.40, as some people already have, Eamon and Kate Webb are both at £10. If you donate at infinitesofa.com or using the big green button, well, it's not green. I call it green. Depends how colourblind you are. The big button that says support the Infinite Sofa, which is under the Twitch window on which you are watching. Yes. Twitch window under which you are watching, then you can get to be on the show. You can teleport in. You just have to beat 10 quid. And you can, it looks like you can't type in your own amount, but you can. So you really can go. Don't say this, because last time you said this, went 10:01 and they fucking won it. Listen, fill your boots. Ladies and gentlefolk, we are going to... Oh, tips are combined. If you do 10 and then you want to go to 10:01, you haven't got to do a further 10:01. You've just got to do 1. But I believe the minimum is $1.99. We're going to start the show, ladies and gentlefolk, all the way from California, or as I wrote on my script earlier on because I was in a panic, Califroniac. All the way from Califroniac. This is a dear friend of mine, and I think you are going to love her. Would you please welcome with a huge round of applause, which starts now, Mandy.
Hi, oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me on your cosmic couch. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Mandy, Samantha if you're nasty, and I'm here to share with you this amazing discovery I made. It happened right here in my kitchen. You see, I was baking because baking makes me feel good, especially when I've run out of codeine. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm just gonna stop talking and show you this discovery. So everybody get ready. He's my friend and yours. I baked him myself. You know him.
Mandy, I'm so sorry to interrupt. You know we did a little tech earlier on. It suddenly occurs to me, I don't think we can play music that is copyrighted.
Sing it. I'll sing it.
Yeah, sing it. That'll be great. So sorry.
The Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man.
Oh, the Muffin Man. I'm the Muffin Man. You know me. I live on Drury Lane. Hi, everybody. I'm the Muffin Man. You know me. Strange world we live in, huh? Sometimes it stresses me out, so I like to go outside and I look up at the beautiful blue sky, if it's blue. If you're in London, sorry. Look up at the beautiful blue sky and I think about blueberries, because blueberries are my favorite food. And then I breathe in the word let and breathe out the word go, and I feel better. Let's all try that now at home. Everybody breathe in the word let and breathe out the word go. I feel better. Do you?
Yeah.
You can answer.
Yeah, 100%.
Sometimes if you're still a little stressed out, I like to eat a little bit of food to make myself feel better. I've got a little treat bell, and when I ring it, food magically appears, and I get to eat it. Let's see what it is.
Did I hear the treat bell?
Yeah, I want some treats to make me feel better.
I have a treat for you.
Let me guess what it is. Is it blueberries?
No.
I wanted blueberries.
I
We're going to be on the thing.
I have something.
I wanted blueberries.
Okay, I'm going to get it from the toaster.
You are what you eat, right?
What's this?
No.
Ooh, it's
that?
sugarless vegan, refined, sugar-free,
No, I don't want
kosher
that.
bread.
I wanted blueberries. I don't want any
No,
more
you're
dough.
made out
I've
of
got
bread.
Too much
You're
bread in
made
me.
out of bread. You have to eat the bread.
Oh.
I want my muffin to be plump.
Oh.
Sometimes if that doesn't work, I'll rely on one more thing to make me feel better. And that's using your imagination. Let's all use it now. I've got 2 friends that are my imaginary friends, and they're 2 little mice, and they like to compliment me. Everyone say hi to my imaginary friend.
Hi!
Oh, hi.
Oh, Muffin Man!
Hi.
Don't ever let anyone tell you that being pretty isn't enough.
Okay.
It's not that your nose is big. It's just the rest of your face is small. Just not when you're in the room.
Okay, thank you.
I really enjoy getting to know you in a really superficial way.
Okay, that's enough.
You're high in cholesterol.
Stop it. Well,
Fine.
I feel better now. I hope you do as well out there in the interworlds. Thank you. Let's outro with some music. Do you know?
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Muffin Man. Give it up for John and Anne, my friends from Daredevil Chicken. Guys, I love that so much. I'm just going to share with you some of the comments from the Twitch chat. I'm vaguely hungover and this isn't helping, says Phil. Did I just stumble upon, says Cheddar Cheesy. Why is this on the front page? Someone else says. And then someone called Logan says, get a grip of your life, go for a walk and sort it out, you gremlin. And it really isn't clear to me whether they're addressing you or the people heckling you. I love you with all of my heart. And if there is a way in which you can come back on and do something equally fucking nuts, please do. You have a Patreon. Tell us your Patreon.
Patreon.com/Daredevil Chicken. More than the Muffin Man, like different. It's like all
This is absolutely no word of a lie. They have one of the most... I mean, I really want to... Can I tell them what happens in your quick change bit, given that they'll never see it on Twitch?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Can I spoil it? So John is in a lovely cheesy suit. He does a quick change on Anne with a hoop with a curtain in it, and she changes clothes. She gets a hoop, does it to him, and he quick changes, and he's suddenly bollock naked. That's the act I want to. Funniest things I've ever seen ever.
Yeah, it's strange because it's a mistake, and it happens every time.
Thank you so much. Can we give a huge amount of love and applause for Daredevil Chicken? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Now, people of the sofa, thank you. More crazy shit to come. We're going to go to something slightly less mad now. I'm going to ask you all quickly, sofa game. Let's pull back. A sofa game. We're going to pick on people, and in 5 seconds, you have to improvise some protective equipment. Let's start with Tom and Sarah. Face masks. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think they're going to live. I've got a feeling they're going to live. Thanks, gang. Moritz. Hey, Moritz, you're new to the show. It's so great to have you here. Whereabouts are you watching from?
Southern part of northern Germany.
The southern part of northern Germany. That's great. Matthias is in the northern part of southern Germany. I literally haven't understood any time he's described it to me. There probably isn't time for a German off, but what's the most German thing about your personality? Probably that face, arguably. Matthias, what's the most German thing about your personality?
My face too.
Could it be your comedy timing? Who knows? Moritz, do me a favour and improvise in 5 seconds a piece of facially protective equipment. Go! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't have confidence that he's going to return in time. A piece of paper. It could have been worse. Flossie, save us. What's your protective equipment? 5. You've had ages to think about this at this stage. Oh my God. That's Time for some Ridgy Diggies there from the Australian. What we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is get our next guest on. He is not just a dear friend of mine, he's a former double act partner of mine, and there are only 3 people in the world who have that dubious distinction. But this is a double act partner from the before time and the after time. Ladies and gentlefolk, would you please welcome with a huge round of applause my friend Richard Sandling.
Welcome, everyone.
Oh, Richard, it's so great to see you there. Please tell us about your well, no, before we get into it, let's just hang out for 2 minutes.
Yes, ignore everyone else.
You and I used to do a wonderful double act together called Kiosk of Champions.
Yeah.
And as I remember, you were the funny one. What was I?
You were the thin one.
That was it. Oh, great days, man. Great days. In fact, we're all... Every so often we think we should put the double act back together, but I'm too scared of my ability to remember lines. And as I remember, you just improvised.
Well, I never let sort of script get in the way of timing.
Yes, I think that's fair. That's fair. I've got to say as well, you're looking fantastic. You've always looked like a sort of combination of Hagrid and 2 other Hagrids. Shaving the sides of your head, hey, you just look absolutely fantastic.
Well, I thought it's about time to start cosplaying Zangief.
Nice. The nerds will like that. Let's go to the Twitch chat. Oh, we like that, say the nerd. It's not fast. There's a slight delay. They can't get out that fast. So look at this. This is lovely. Over in the Twitch chat, Signore Tenore says, "You're such a great riffer. You don't need to remember lines." I think he's addressing you, Richard, because I fucking need to remember lines. That thing I pulled out of my ass earlier on about my granny, it's a joke I wrote 15 years ago. Just popped into my head. Now, called yourself TV's Richard Sandling.
Hey?
Have you called yourself TV's Richard Sandling?
I have.
That is a shrewd move, my friend. But it's not entirely true, because you are the Hollywood's Richard Sandling. You've actually done proper movies, right?
I have. I do lots of low-budget British movies. If you want some of the greatest content on Amazon Prime has me in it.
You always used to do this show, and you've resurrected it now for online during the Great Pivot. It was called Richard Sandling's Perfect Movie, and one of your earlier stand-up works was called Straight to VHS. So, are we right in thinking that you've continued that theme by having a career that is straight to DVD?
Yeah, I don't want to be ostentatious. So I feel like, it's important to keep your talent spread thin and wide.
It's just in from the Twitch chat. Great Zangief cosplay. You see my point? Also, and this is beautiful. B-Tech Nick Frost. Oh. I think that's okay. B-Tech's a respectable qualification in Southend, where you live.
I mean, it's no
So, Mr. Richard Sandling, what are you up to these days? I thought you'd tell us what you're doing online during the Great Pivot, and then we'll ask some of our members of the Sofa crowd and maybe some people over in the stream chat as well what their favourite movies are, and then you can tell them why they're wrong. So tell us.
To be honest, it's not necessarily going to be a wrong, because the show I do, Richard Sandling's Perfect Movie, is about loving films. As a live show, it's about stand-ups doing material about films, because it's weird, given we're on Twitch and the massive nerddom, to think that in 2009 there was no place for people to do weird nerd comedy. You had to you would be me and earn no money, or you had to essentially do really good stuff, mainly for the sort of normal comedy clubs. And it was hard. People go, "I love movies. I wish I could talk about them. I wish I could do what you do and make no money but enjoy myself."
He jests at scars that never felt. I can't remember the rest of it.
So what I did was I had the radical approach that I thought I would give straight white men a safe space to talk about their enthusiasms.
Mate, I'm pleased to tell you that now there's an internet, I think you're going to be fine.
But now I'm bringing it back as a live stream show, so...
Lovely. How does the show work? So it's a live stream show. People suggest elements from their perfect movies, and then you.
Yeah. So I just have a chat. I chat to someone come and do a bit of stand up, but film based. Then we have a special guest, and they choose we basically talk about film scenes they like, films they like, and then we recreate their favourite beginning, middle, and end scenes.
Gotcha.
So they get to be in their perfect movie.
I remember it now. We did a bunch of those. Are they still on YouTube?
Right, there's loads of stuff on YouTube if you want to watch. You can watch. I'm trying to think of who. Like, there's me, and you can watch me and Pappy's recreate the T-Rex attack from Jurassic Park.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. Hey, well, I remember when you did Perfect Movie Live, you did one of my best, my favourite ever items, my favourite ever formats, where you got someone who was an incredibly minor role in a big movie, and you got them to come on and interviewed them like about the experience of being tiny. And you would often ask them, what was it like working with so-and-so?
Yeah, and they had to always reply, he was an absolute gent.
Marvellous, marvellous. I wanted to say that, but I suddenly thought I'd be treading on the punchline, so I stopped and you backed me up, and that's Kiosk of Champions. Can you remember how we used to describe the banter in Kiosk of Champions?
See, you set them up, I stand there.
Mate, Nat Holes79 over in the Twitch chat says Nat Metcalf doing Cares is my favourite. That is an absolute banger. It's the most Nat Metcalf thing I've ever seen. So listen, do you want to field, Rich? Do you want to field some favourite movies? Hands up, people on the sofa, if you have a favourite movie that you'd like to find out whether you're right about. Heather,
I agree with you. There are no right or wrong answers because it's your favourite film, so you can't be wrong technically. But obviously, some answers are more or less wrong than others.
Okay.
So, hello.
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 Hello. My favourite film is Strictly Ballroom. How do you feel about that?
I think that is. You know what? That is correct.
Very good. Look at that. That's very
movie,
good.
But also, it's one of those films that it's like. There's no right or wrong answers, obviously, but a film like Strictly Ballroom, that's obviously because it's a good film, but also it is massively entertaining. It's like highly entertaining, but also highly accomplished, and also it's slightly off kilter. So it's a perfect movie for you to love. It's exactly what we used to say. It's a film that as soon as it finished, you could watch it again.
Lovely, lovely.
Straight away.
TV's Richard Sandling. Let's hear another perfect movie. Let's hear the best film from Roz and future Richard Sandling. There they are.
It's like looking in a terrifying mirror.
My favourite movie is Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth. Oh, now that's predictable. But at least it's not Donnie Darko.
I like it. I like it. I tell you what we need. Has anyone got a mainstream favourite movie? Because I feel the best way to inhabit this format is to find one that Richard passionately disagrees with. So has anyone got over? Let's go to Moz. Hey, listen, Moz, we've barely said hello to you. Thanks so much for joining us, Moz. Whereabouts are you?
Bedfordshire.
In Bedfordshire. Whereabouts in Bedfordshire? That's one of those places, there's no towns and cities. People just say the county.
Exactly halfway between Bedford and Milton Keynes.
That is like a pirate map of buried treasure.
Yeah. If you want to know my bona fides, I actually went to Luton University. So,
is that a real? Does that exist anymore?
No, it's the University of Bedfordshire.
Nice.
So people think I made up my shit degree.
Moz, what have you got for us? Whereabouts? What's your favourite movie?
Back to the Future.
Say again.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Come on, of course. Can't criticise Back to the Future. It's brilliant.
Here's an idea. Richard, go against everything you believe and criticise Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is one of the stupidest films I've ever seen in this conversation. Right? Basically, he turns up, his mum tries to rape him, which is never cool.
Terms of service, Rich.
Sorry. There's some sexual shenanigans going on, which is just not cool. And,
I don't know if that's actually more offensive to reduce that concept to shenanigans.
I don't know. I mean, I'm uncertain. I'm uncertain what the protocols are for describing sex pestery in the past.
Well, listen.
Sex pestery.
Tell us, Richard, what is your perfect movie? I don't think I know the answer to this. What is the perfect movie as far as you're concerned?
My favourite opening, middle and end to a film.
Go on.
My favourite opening is from the film Sullivan's Travels, 1940 by Preston Sturgis, which is a fantastic 9-minute bit where they talk
That
about.
is bullshit. You're just being deliberately contrarian, showing off you know about
genuinely my
films. There's no
favourite
way
thing.
that's your favourite opening.
It is. It is. My favourite middle scene is the David Bowie scene from Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
Not seen it, sounds shit.
And it just for the, what the hell did he say there, Albert? That's Special Agent Dale Cooper. That's amazing. And then the ending to The Long Good Friday.
Oh, that is the best. That's the
It
best.
is the best ending.
Rich, we can find you on Twitch. What's your Twitch channel? Tell us, and then I'm going to ask you.
It is a Squat Betty.
Wait, hang on a second. Rich, why don't you tell us what your Twitch channel is over the course of a minute's worth of you doing an impression of the end of the movie, The Long Good Friday? Take it away in your own time.
So, if you go on Twitch, Squat_Betty, which is also a reference to a movie with Nail and I. It's his agent's name. It's also my Twitter handle. Or I should be doing that. Without the music.
It is hard to do without the music. I've given you an impossible task there. What I should have said was chew a bit. It's wonderful to see you. We will see you at so is it Squat_Betty or Squat Betty, all one word?
Because I don't understand the convenience of the internet.
Ever the contrarian. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Rich Sandling. Thank you so much, Rich. We are going to teleport now. Listen, we're not going to do this second. Currently, am I right in thinking that the leaderboard is still Eamon and Kate Webb at £10 each? I feel like it is. So we are going to bring them in 8 minutes. 8 minutes. So, ladies and gentlefolk, that's coming up very soon. Let's just have a few more startling facts about people. Moz, there's a lot of chat in the stream chat about your hat. We're big fans of the hat.
Thank you.
The way you looked, the way you turned your head there was like, am I wearing a hat? Which I really liked. Moz, tell us, what's a fact about yourself that is true but sounds made up?
I once trained to be a professional wrestler.
Ooh. Did you get as far as doing any actual bouts?
Only training ones, and I tore my rotator cuff.
Mate, I've torn my rotator cuff now.
It hurts.
I've got a torn rotator cuff. It's a fucking bastard, isn't it? Are there any exercises you can recommend me?
I did none of them. I did no exercise at all. I've paid for it for years.
Moz, you've got the look to you, and don't take offence by this. You look like the sort of person I used to hang around with on the street. By which I mean, when I was the street performer. What do you do for a living, Moz?
I am a reporting analyst for Ocado.
It just goes to show you never can tell. Reporting analyst, holy shit. J.R. Hardacre in the chat suggests I've got a torn rotator cuff as merch suggestions. What a Hardacre. We're on a tenner. We're just going to do some thanks for the bits and bobs. Philip Little, Eamon Goodfellow, Kate Webb, Ross Drodge, and codeine-enriched nut milk. Thank you for your donations thus far. Codeine-enriched nut milk. So, with 7 minutes to go until we do the thing, I'm going to... Now, there's a lovely game we can play, or we could get another act on. Shall we get another act? Let's get another act on, because this game, we played it this morning at 11 o'clock when we did the scripting of the show, which incidentally we do every show day. That's Mondays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. We do a meeting on this Twitch channel where you can watch me and contribute to the writing of the script, test the games out, stuff like that. It's tremendous fun, and it keeps me on the straight and narrow ordinarily. Now, we are going to do that little game in a second, but first, we're just going to reiterate, Richard Sandling's Perfect Movies on Facebook live every Saturday at 9 p.m. It says that in the Twitch chat from someone who's obviously a ringer. John Keogh says, is Stu still reading out anything we type? Wait a minute. Motherfucker. Maggie says 11 a.m. BST is a bullshit time for me in Indiana, and that's why we love Maggie, because she's got no time for our bullshit. We're going to get an act on now, ladies and gentlefolk. I'm starting to get in the rhythm of that, but I still don't think it's better than my sweet friends. You're going to have another act on. I'm so thrilled to bring you this next person. I'm a huge fan of theirs, and they hold the dubious honour of being one of the 5 people in the world who has ever made my wife cry with laughter. By this point, I would have hoped that they had made themselves visible. They have made themselves visible. My sweet friends, it's Elf Lyons as a sea monster.
Motherfuckers! Are you frightened? You're frightened, you better be. It is me, the sea monster, Nigel the Third.
Hey there, sea monster. How are you doing?
Doing very well. Are you frightened, Stuart?
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried.
You know, I know what you did in Spain, Stuart. You don't think I didn't see you?
I have been
in the sea.
I have been to Spain. I have been in the sea in Spain. Were you there?
I was there. I was watching with my big tentacle.
Oh God, was that you? I can't say I entirely dislike the sensation. Which sea are you in currently, sea monster? And why is
quite the problem? Because basically, what happens, Stuart, is I get excited and I make myself comfortable in our little home, get myself an allotment, and then if you stand in the wrong tide, Stuart, you end up somewhere else.
Oh, I see. That does sound difficult. Is part of your face falling off there, sea monster?
It's my eggs that I've laid.
It's your eggs. Over in the stream
you say my name 5 times in the mirror, Stuart. If you say my name, Nigel the Third, 5 times in the mirror, what happens is all the sea monkeys, the children of the past, have disowned, slide up the toilet, and they hide in your ear, and they whisper constructive feedback.
God. And I feel like that's something I could do with. I'm just going to point out over in the stream chat, I can't find them now, but someone just said that, I think it might have been Fatboy Swarbs, forgive me if I've misattributed this, I think someone just said that their sweet friends have retreated back into their body, which I think is fair.
And your sweet friends.
Sea monster, do you have any powers? Do you have any special sea monster abilities?
I can tell you some harsh truths. As I've lived in the South, met quite a lot of famous people.
Ooh.
Yes. And you know Tom Jones?
Oh, the singer, Tom Jones. Yeah, I'm aware of his work.
I've met him.
Is that one of your powers?
No way. Calm down, Stuart. It's not his real singing voice.
Is it not?
So what else do I know? I've got a riddle. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I absolutely love riddles. Go on.
Right, okay, Stuart, hold yourself down because it's about to get mighty feisty in here. Got 5 legs in the morning, 5 legs in the afternoon, and 5 legs in the evening.
I don't think I know. I've no idea. Should we go to let's go to the sofa. Hands up if you think you know what has 5 legs in the morning, 5 legs in the afternoon, 5 legs in the evening. I think we're stumped.
It's a starfish.
Oh.
Got 4 legs in the morning. At lunch, 2 legs in the afternoon, 5 legs at about 4. It depends on what time we're going, but in Indiana it's complicated. And back down to 1 at 7.
Do you have any other riddles for us? I love that riddle. I realise if you don't have any other riddles prepped, this is a hell of a question. But do tell me if you have another riddle.
I've got a tragic story.
Oh, we'd love to hear your tragic story, please.
So, okay, you might cry. But sometimes it's important to be vulnerable.
I do. I try to teach my son that.
Okay. Stuart, I used to have a girlfriend once.
Oh.
She was a mermaid. And she had beautiful long hair and a beautiful long tail just like you. She'd spend all her day in the bath. I'm not made of hot water, Clementine, I'd flirt. Lay all her eggs in the toilet. And when she'd clean, she'd sing. and all these beautiful sea creatures would fly through the windows and help her clean. A mollusk on her fingers, salmon on her toes. She would have music wherever she goes. Salmon, porpoise, lobster, and squid, they would help clean wherever she lived. But though she would laugh, she would eventually cry, because without water they would all die. It was awful. There were so many dead dolphins on the linoleum.
I'm sorry, I was drawn into your eye contact. I feel like I might be turning to stone. Is that one of your abilities?
Yes, no, what I do is it's quite traumatic, really. Sometimes if I meet somebody I really fancy and I want to open up myself, I forget that if you get lost in my eyes, you just turn into a seahorse.
I think that might be what's happening to me. Can I ask, Sea Monster, is it a picture of David Beckham on the wall behind you, or is it Bowie?
No, can't a woman have a lover? David Beckham is a lover of the sea.
Is he there by choice, or have you sort of imprisoned him?
Look, Victoria Beckham made a deal with Poseidon, and I got to spend some nice time with them. These are his eggs. Good eggs. This is what happens, Victoria, when you piss in the sea. Baths, Victoria, are the oceans for the weak.
What are the oceans for the weak?
Baths.
Baths. Oh, I see.
Bath.
Baths.
Bath.
Baths.
Bath.
Baths.
Anne-Marie, I met your mother. She's a mermaid.
Yes.
I really like her. She's got a good soul, and you know what? I partook with her in a pub quiz, and it's unfair to her because I can read minds. I won. You know what? She was a very good loser. So, my regards.
I will do.
You're welcome.
Sea Monster, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like before we let you go, we should. Are you able? Can you see the future? Are you able to make a prediction about the untimely end of someone on the sofa, perhaps?
Well, I can make quite a lot of predictions. Marcel Lucont, he's got to be very careful.
Yeah, that's true.
He's done a lot of things with his wine, and if you can keep on doing ocean funerals, because we're big fans of recycling here. And what else? Mandy, when you meet that nice scuba diving instructor and he says, "Hey, why don't we go swimming with the sharks?" Look, just don't. Just stay in and watch it. Hey, Mandy, it's not worth it. You're a prize.
Ladies and gentlefolk, can you join me in thanking Elf Lyons as a sea monster? Thank you so much, Elf. You are equal parts hilarious and terrifying. And if you've just joined the show, me neither. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Elf Lyons. Elf, can we, if you, Phil, oh, she's gone.
Oh, no, I'm still here.
You're still there. Look at you, face covered in eggs and everything. Can you direct us to where we might see more of this joyful lunacy?
Yeah, let me just spit my mouth out.
Sure thing. I don't know if that's covered by the terms of service. We'll have to find out. More content. Let's get back to Elf.
People can find me on Instagram because I do comedy videos there. I've also got a SoundCloud where I post up all my horror stories. And
that is funny. In the context, I'm familiar with the app SoundCloud, but in the context of how batshit this last bit has been, I've also got a SoundCloud. Good sounds in a cloud.
Yeah, I know. I'm also, if people need help with comedy mentoring, I'm doing loads of that at the moment, just because it makes me happy.
Great times.
I'm just trying to make people at the moment, my two joys are helping people write comedy and make people sick through the work I make.
Yeah, that's what we want. Give it up for Elf Lyons, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Elf. Thank you. Adieu. Just that last bit of the interview, John Keogh in the chat says, what's happened to the audio? Her voice has gone strange. Great gag. Now, thank you, PS Twitch. You just supported the Infinite Sofa with a £5. And Lockdown Comedy Guide says, we need a sofa special with the sea monster and the crone. Well, good news for you. Let me tell you who's coming up later this week on Thursday at 9. We have Andy Zaltzman. We have John Luke Roberts as Chaucer this time, so look forward to that. Sarah Barron is going to be here, fantastic Sarah Barron, and Charlie George, who's my comedy niece. She's a very new act who's absolutely exploding all over the circuit, but not in the way that sounds. It's just a terrible thing. Good, brilliant, and she used to babysit my godchildren. She's like a friend of mine from the real world who is now one of those people who is like, oh, they're in my world now. Oh, they're doing really great. Oh, they're going to be way bigger than me. So she's going to be here too. It's just one of those things that keeps us all happy. Listen, over to the teleportation things. We're going to find out. First, Moritz, let's just find out our question from earlier. I'm sorry, I just love jumping on people because they're always like, what the fuck? What? I'd forgotten. Moritz, tell us something about yourself that sounds made up but is in fact true.
I was born in a botanical garden.
I love it. Andy from Catford, can you match that? Tell us something about yourself that sounds made up but is true.
Well, to go with the theme of the night, I did jury service with Sir Ian McKellen.
What? We're building up a picture of his movements. We're going to work out where he lives. In fact, I know where he lives. I used to drive past it. But I used to peep in through the windows. He was never there. Mia. Hey, Mia, remind me where you're watching.
Nunhead.
From Nunhead, of course, glorious South London. Tell us. No, I like it. I like Nunhead. It's great. Buying or selling. Have you been to the old Nun's Head? Lovely pub. It's a cracking little pub, isn't it? So tell us, please, Mia, what is something about yourself that sounds true but is made up?
I couldn't think of anything about myself. I'm so boring. But I do have an uncle who was on a stamp in Ireland.
Your uncle was on a stamp? That is like... You know that game we might play it in a future...
A postal stamp, I should say.
Yes, no, I think I understood. Hang on a minute. What other kind of stamp could you have meant?
Like a, I don't know.
A rubber stamp.
Rubber stamp, yeah.
I don't know. I think they're both good.
That'd be really weird.
I'm really enjoying the amount of people who we're apparently on 2,500 viewers. And I cannot imagine. Well, hello, people. Hello, all 2,400 of you that don't know what the fuck is going on. Welcome. Lovely to have you here. Please consider clicking follow, or if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, simply link it. We've got an infographic to help you through that, but I haven't got round to it. So, teleporting the person into the show in order to meet our next fantastic guest, Maggie was the highest donor with £41. £41. Let's have a round of applause for Maggie.
Yeah, Maggie.
All right. And goodbye, Elf. She's going now, but she loves us tons. Thank you, Elf. That was a private message. Didn't need to do it. So, I don't mean private in the sense of like private, but just, it wasn't. Oh, for God's sake. Just a disaster. Literally, I've made 2 huge fuck-ups today, and I can't go into either of them. But Elf sends us all David Beckham's eggs. So, there's a chance that Beckham's was autocorrect. There's a chance it's just her being fucking hat stand. So thank you, Elf. It's good to have you. Maggie says, I'm not going to teleport in. What's this? £41? She's supporting the show but doesn't even want to teleport in. That reminds me, you can support the show with a donation, and when the invite comes through to be on the next show, because that's how it works, you donate, you're in a random pool of people who get selected to join us on the sofa next time. You can just ignore that invitation if you feel that it's scary or you don't want to be barracked or have your hat insulted. I mean, I never realised that because my personality is such that, like, how can I fucking get on this thing? And most people in the world are like, I'll happily watch this. Be on it. You're fucking kidding me. So, Dara, Briain, and shortly after that, the wonderful Marcel Lucont. However, Maggie says, I'm not zooming in, but please go to Matthias without warning for one of his top-notch questions for Dara. So we'll not have a teleportee. Maggie has donated. I'm just going to give you a little, I mean, that is warning. She did say without warning, and I fucked that up. Matthias, are you happy with that? You're really good at a last-minute question. And seeing as you can sing opera, can I ask you a favour? Could you just have a tiny little bit of opera in your back pocket? We might come to that later on. Is that all right with you?
Okay.
Okay. Imagine being the sort of person that someone could say, can you have a bit of opera ready? And you just go, okay. God damn it. Lockdown Comedy Guide in the stream chat says top donor and then fucking off. That's a classic move. It really is. David Shutter says, are we allowed to be confused even if we've seen every episode so far? been a very confusing show. Don't worry, the rest of the show is, I mean, one of the guests is one of the biggest comics in the UK and Ireland and other places besides, and the other guest is a far less confusing endeavour than what we've had so far. So, hello, welcome to whatever this is. That's probably doable as a thing. We're going to play a quick game now with the stream chat, and then we're going to get on the fabulous. We're not going to get on Dara, Briain. I mean, he's not small, but we've no plans at this stage to get on him. We're going to get him on the show, and first we're going to have a lovely little game. So this is the game. I invented this, and I'm really proud of it. We played it in the stream chat earlier on as a little tester, and it was tremendous fun. The game is this. I'm going to go long shot, so I know you're all paying attention. It's the superhero game. Let's find out. Tim, do you like superheroes?
I mean, depends which one it is, really. I mean,
great times. Tom, do you like superheroes?
I love superheroes.
Yeah. David Hoare, do you like superheroes?
I like superheroes.
Improvise a song about a superhero now.
Superman is really, really good at flying, but his cape is rubbish. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, I liked it. I felt you could have believed in yourself for slightly longer than you did because it was going well. But I realised in fact, do a different one. Do a different superhero song.
The Spider-Man jizz webbing.
Whoa! Okay, mate. All right. I see what's happening here. This is like deliberately breaking the crockery when you wash up so as to not be asked again. Okay. John Kehoe in the stream chat says, no one expected him to stay on the screen so long. Least of all me, I momentarily misplaced my mouse. Here's the superhero game. Here is the superhero game. I am going to name 2 superhero powers. And you, all of you, you on the sofa, you in the stream chat, I'm pointing up there because that's where it is, but really, it's there. And may I say, I love what you've done with the curtains. The point of the game is I say 2 different superhero powers and you have to immediately name that superhero. Now, the only way this game works is if you blurt out what's on your mind. So say it out loud if you're playing along at home. We're all at home. Say it out loud and then type it. Don't think to yourself, oh, I suppose it'd be, because then you'll think of something. You'll edit yourself and it won't be as glorious and delicious as the creativity that lies within. So does everyone understand the rules of the game? I'm going to name 2 things, and this is the wilder the better. As quickly as you can, improvise. Ready? Okay. And also, someone's already said Jizz Face McGee. I don't think that's actually allowed.
That's not a superhero.
I mean, it would be funny if I said, "Okay, you're Irish," and never mind. But it is a power. They're great people. So. These are your 2 things. Do it immediately, and people on the sofa, write it down. Okay, so have the idea, write it down, and then we'll come to you. We'll come to the people on the chat in a second. I've got to think of some. Okay, you have got incredibly tall legs, and you're on fire. Okay, you're permanently on fire. What's the name of your superhero? Stop thinking. Write down the thing you were thinking. And while we wait to go over to the chat, once they've catched up, who's got one? Doesn't need to be good. Who's got one? Let's go to Flossie. Of course, Flossie's got one. What have we got?
Hot Minge.
Hot Minge. Okay, Hot Minge. So wait 1 second. Flossie is that? Did I hear you correctly, Flossie?
Don't worry, it's worse.
It's worse. It's worse than Hot Minge.
Does it violate the
Flossie.
terms and services?
What have we got? Okay, let's leave that one. Who have we got? And let's go to Moz. Moz, what have you got for us?
Long burner.
Long burner. Don't mind it. Moritz, what have you got, mate?
Any long fire?
Say that again and do the exact face again.
Any long fire?
Long fire. I don't mind it. Andy and Catford, what have you got, Andy?
Surely it has to be Towering Inferno.
Towering Inferno.
Oh,
now,
that's good.
I like it.
That's
I think
really
it's
cool.
good, but it's so clever. I feel like you thought about it for slightly too long. Has anyone got a dumber, less good one of those? Let's go to my sweet friend Heather.
Mine's very similar to everybody else's. The long incinerator.
Is that similar to everyone else's? Give you some examples. Let's go over to the chat and see what we've got here. Lanky Fire Hazard says PS Twitch. Frosty says Fiery Pants. Fireball Darren says Pogo Flame. Lofty Flame says Holes 79. Ian Wood says it's worse than Hot Minge. We also have Pink Giant, Lanky Inferno, Lanky Lit Lady. I like that from Dan Hirschbein because I didn't say it was a male. Miracle Tortoise is the winner so far with Hell Stilts. Hell Stilts is good. What else have we got? Shari, what have you got? What have you got for us?
Long Lava Man.
Long Lava Man. And to be honest, the best bit about this game is the note of sort of falling apart apology when people say, David Hoare, can you beat Hell Stilts?
Pyraph.
Py what?
Pyroraph.
And then I said what? And you said
totally
Pyroraph.
like a giraffe, but he's on fire like a pyrotechnic. It's like Pyroraph.
Like a pyrotechnic giraffe. Pyroraph. I don't mind
Pyroraph.
it. I don't mind it. Bean, what have you got for us, Bean?
I'm bad at this game. I've written the giant flame boy.
I don't mind it. Anne-Marie, save us.
I got giant fire stacks, like giant haystacks, because he was a wrestler.
I don't mind it, but we've got a few more pyro rafts, says Maggie. You've literally just nicked that off David Hoare. Outrageous, but you paid £41. So, David, why have you got to nick Maggie's idea in the past? That's bullshit, man. Don't do that. Giant flame boy's good. Lit
Maggie.
fart, says Blackhand. I apologise. I think what people are doing in the Twitch chat is they're voting on their favourites by saying their favourites such that it gets in my eye line, which may as well be how the game works. But I've already decided the winner was Miracle Tortoise with whatever I said they said.
Hell Stilts.
Hell Stilts. Miracle Tortoise, award yourself 10 points. And people on the sofa, what do points mean?
Nothing.
Correct. Okay. We're going to get a guest on, ladies and gentlefolk. Before we do, last thing, whilst our next guest, one of the biggest comics in the known world. That sounds sarcastic now. It wasn't meant to be. My point is, they are so prolific, intelligent, not to mention famous, worldly. There is no reason they should be lowering themselves to whatever this bullshit is. But they very kindly have done that. Whilst they're switching on their audio, I'm just going to quickly, I didn't set up a poll for this. Look at this. Should I just cut it? We've got some clippers. My wife has an undercut, and last night I did an undercut, and it was really pro, and I was like, I looked at the thing, and I nearly just went, fuck it, I'm going to do a lot. But I didn't. Should I do it, or if I attempt it, will I fuck it up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you do it
Thumbs up if you have an
on
opinion.
Twitch?
Let's go. We've got double thumbs up from Tim. What do you reckon?
Do it.
Do it. Would
Yeah.
you do it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't got clippers.
But you haven't because you haven't got the clippers.
I haven't got clippers.
Anne-Marie, you've got pretty cool short hair. Do you think I should do it?
I think you should do it. I did it. I had long hair like you beforehand, and
You
yeah.
had long... Wow, it's been a long time since anyone said to me, I had long hair like you. Nuts. Moritz, you look about 12. How is your hair working out? Is your hair like it's supposed to be at the moment, or is it gone nuts?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I don't know. I think it's only fair that we go over to Tom. I've got to be honest, mostly to take the edge off the fact I've just realised the forthcoming guest isn't overly lustrous in the follicle department. This sounds like some fucking hatchet job that I'm doing. So, Tom, let's get all the ball gear out the way with you. But before we do that, Tom, I say this with love. What in God's name are you wearing, man?
Oh, it's to fit the Star Wars theme we've been having tonight.
Oh, yes. Did you run off and put that on because we mentioned Dave?
No, I had it on the whole time.
Had it on the whole time.
She was nudging me like, tell them. I was like, it'll come out.
Yeah.
You know this show so well. So here we are. Now over here we got, I believe, I have been. This is one of those little technical moments where it just proves how live we are. I think we're going to welcome our guest to the show. I just need for Dara Briain to turn his video on such that we can welcome him. And if that doesn't happen, we're in trouble.
There he is.
It has happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so tremendously grateful to this man for showing up, but equally keen not to humble myself utterly. I mean, come on, it's a great show. But it is actually fucking Dara Briain, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Thanks, Dara. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
Here. Some brief notes. I presume that the answer was Miracle Tortoise. rather than the person giving the answer, because frankly, Miracle Tortoise would be a fucking great name for a long-legged thing on fire.
God, you're not wrong. That's a really good point. Yes.
Yeah.
So Hell Stilts may have been the actual person.
Yeah, but Miracle Tortoise. I'm not just a tortoise. I'm a miracle tortoise. And they're like,
yes, and then burst on fire. Very nice.
We had a game once, myself and Ed Byrne, on a long journey where we, in the name of inventing games, and the game was, if you could hack into / take over the decks at a strip club, what would be the best piece of music to unexpectedly play so that the strippers had to dance to that piece of music?
That is wonderful. Do you have an answer for this? Because I feel like we should throw it to the stream chat.
Yes, we do. Yeah, absolutely. There are many somber answers, but surreal generally works better. I mean, there's many really fucking grim answers. Yeah, there's definitely we have one. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got a winning answer. I'm just going to, because there's a slight delay. People are already suggesting the Benny Hill theme.
Too obvious.
We have Thomas the Tank Engine. I've got to say Thomas the Tank Engine because of that thumping bass line. Time to say goodbye, says RJ Murphy. That something actually imbued with a real kind of emotional weight sounds like a fun thing. Easy Lover, says Cloverhead. The National Anthem, says Signore Tenore. Bridge Over Troubled Water. The Hokey Cokey, Orinoco Flow. I've got to say, Orinoco Flow, because you could rock it, right? You could actually do Orinoco Flow, and you could incorporate it in a way that if someone walked in mid-gig, they'd go, mid-gig, there's me, I consider this you could incorporate it.
Honestly, I think most people going into a strip club come in mid-gig. I don't think people go to get to strip club by 8. We don't want to miss the opening. We won't know what happens at the end if we don't guess. John appears at 8.
Do people not queue outside strip clubs? I'm afraid I'm not very worldly.
Really isn't. No. The first hour of the strip club, they establish. No, that's not how I think how punters use the strip club. Do you want to know what Ed and I came up with our favourites?
I've got 2 or 3 more, and then you can go for it. We've got Do They Know It's Christmas?
Yeah.
Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company B, and the Ninja Turtles theme song. That's all we've got, Dara. Put us out of our misery and tell us which is best.
Okay. Do you want to know the grim one? Do you want to know the one that?
Yes. Oh God, you might as well.
Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton. Forget I said that. The actual winner is the War of the Worlds soundtrack by Jeff Lynne, including the full spoken word introduction. So that they have to dance to Who Could Have Known as the collide thousands of miles away across the galaxy. Envious eyes gazed upon
Oh.
Get them to dance to that.
That's extraordinary. Dara, now just hold with us. This may go nowhere. You clearly know the words. Can I just ask, is anyone on the sofa confident enough a dancer? Because there is a chance that someone would care to interpret that dance. And I'm going to tell you now, if no one nominates themselves, it's going to be David Horse. So look at David. And I mean, it's well beyond his pay grade. And is anyone just on the
I'll do it if you want.
Oh, bless your heart. I'm just using you as a sort of leverage to see if anyone got experiences go-go dancing, anything like that.
I have 0 experience, but I cannot miss up on a chance to dance in front of Dara Briain.
Who said that? Raise your hand. Who said that? Was it David? It was David. Dara, can you do the spoken intro? I assume you're.
I'm trying to remember enough of it to keep this going.
Okay. Well, yeah, to keep it going.
No nipples, yeah.
No nipples.
No nipples, yeah.
How are we to know at the turn of the century, as we lived our lives, that across the eons of space, envious eyes gazed upon our universe and hatched their plans against us?
I think that's what David considers sexiness to be.
I've been in a committed relationship for 7 years, so it works.
Anyway,
We're still going.
No, we're
No,
not still
David,
going. Give David a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. What a hero! Well done. What a cracking sport. Dara, did you have further notes?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I found out my street value, which is £41. That's always good.
Didn't you think that was classy though, that she would make that money? I don't want to join this, whatever the fuck this is. Take the money and get yourself some food.
Really a random amount of change. Even in her own home, she bagged some change and just flung it at the street and go, just take it and leave me alone. Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen, right? I once had a conversation with, I've only met him a couple times in things. Once had a conversation with Ian McKellen, Ross Noble, and Jason John Whitehead, Canadian comedian.
Ooh, lovely, yes.
After the Stonewall benefit gig, which is a big LGBT charity in Edinburgh, and he had been the guest MC. And he's talking and being utterly delightful in a I was once Magneto, I am Gandalf kind of a way. Everyone's just gazing at him. And I wasn't there for the bit in which he looked down at Ross's shoes. Ross is wearing these really fancy pair of trainers and says, or somebody goes, where did you get those trainers? And Ross says, I got them in wherever, right? And then they looked at McKellen's shoes and said, oh, where did you get those? Which is another fancy pair of trainers. And McKellen said, I got them because I am in the movies.
Oh, how lovely to wield that kind of thing whereby you're just in the movies, so people give you stuff.
You know, but he was Magneto / Gandalf. So yes, he was the movies for about 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has that wonderful T-shirt. You know, there's some people are just gay, get over it. And he's got like, I'm Gandalf and Magneto, get over it. You're a show businessman. Do you have? Do people send you free, glorious stuff that you can go? Oh, look at this.
Yeah, bits of it. We try to filter it.
What's Dara? I'm fascinated with this. What's the filtering process? How many humans are there in between you and anthrax in an envelope?
I got a guy who bundles up all the stuff, bundles them all up, and then sorts through them with the team that I have. Who wants this? Who wants that? There was somebody who once gave me a Panini sticker for the 2000, I'm going to get the dates of this wrong, right? I think it was 2006 or 2008 World Cup at a tour date. Gave me the Panini sticker book in which the Irish team had been entirely filled out. Okay? Sorry, that sounds like I'm going, what a fucking bitch. I mean, I wanted to do the Irish team. The one thing I wanted to do is the Irish team, right? But had the Irish team hadn't been entirely filled out, okay? And we went, okay, well, that's okay, that's great, that's kind of nice, or whatever. And then I went, hang on, wait a minute. We haven't qualified for this World Cup. This person has made a Panini album and made the Irish page, including making 24 stickers of who could potentially be in the Irish squad, and then put them together and then present them.
Does that become like Biff's almanac from Back to the Future?
The die was cast. It became something in a bin, is what it became. It was suddenly on tongs. Oh no, that's too much effort to make. So when he just said, "Oh, I liked your show. That's great. I'm happy with that. I'm really happy."
Oh my lord!
I have dedicated months of my life to building an adhesive sticker collection of an imaginary Irish World Cup squad.
Now, I noticed on your Twitter feed that earlier this last week, in fact, you hosted via Zoom. You hosted a charity gig for, was it Great Ormond Street?
I did, yeah. We did. They did a night for Great Ormond Street, yeah.
And you were in proper black tie doing the actual hosting gig.
In a tux, and the idea was that you would then buy the ticket like you'd buy to the ball normally, but you'd make your own dinner, and then you'd have your wine, and then we'd pause, and then they got like Craig David to do a set, and they'd had a silent auction. The normal donations they get, as like a charity would normally get, they're now sitting on. So they did all this stuff, but you had to host the charity ball in your house. Due to this is live, obviously, but due to technical reasons, this is the first time I said it wasn't live. But to make it look live, and even a bit because it's on a Thursday night where I went, oh, is that the time? I better go out and applaud the NHS workers. Shot, and then stop that segment, and then restart another segment, and walk back in and went, oh no, look at me, I was in a tux. How funny! My neighbours all laughed. It was all lies.
Oh my lord!
All lies. But they made 40 grand off it. And they're kind of one of these things that people are trying to work out how to make it happen. Much like this. It's a really interesting finding new ways of making comedy happen in the full knowledge that when comedy goes back to being able to happen in the old way, we can fuck off all these techniques that we've been using.
No. Don't you shut your whore mouth, Dara. Go on forever. And I'm going to do shows with no driving from my house in Bristol.
You totally are. Yeah. No one questioned. You did what you had to do to get through. Right, you did what you needed. This is like in Goodfellas, whatever you need to do to survive, or we're all inside. You did it then, right?
While we're all inside. Wow. Listen, we've got a couple of questions for you on the Twitch stream. If you have time for a few questions, Heather Lilias says cancels making Infinite Sofa Almanac. Nice. David Shutter says, I want a shut your whore mouth t-shirt. Wait a second, we did have genuine questions. Oh, that was it. So I'm going to skate over a reference to a certain bus company because that is tawdry when you're dealing with the class act that is Dara, Briain. However, we'd like to know what's behind you. Someone says, is that a pole vaulting man bear statuette behind you?
Hang on, I might as well get it down for you. It's called an applauding bear. Hang on. Sorry, it's called clapping bear, and it's a bear applauding with gold.
Oh wow! I think I speak for all of us when I say, what the fuck?
It's a piece of art. It's a bear applauding. Of course, it's a bear applauding. What do you mean? Why? Why? You say why to Picasso? I didn't make this. It's just. But look at it. Look at it. Oh, do you know I've not had a good look at it in a while? We've had it for a while. It's a lovely thing. There's a trilobite next to it.
Before we get onto the trilobite, and I want to get onto the trilobite, but it does look, because the hands are gold, it looks like it's a statue that's been rubbed by repeated use, and it looks every night you go up to it and twiddle its little hands and say, "Clap for me, little bear."
That's at a Tokyo tube station. It's incredibly like fucking dog in Edinburgh that people go up and pet in the nose, like whatever.
Yeah. Talk us through your trilobite.
There's a trilobite, there's a trilobite up there. Come on, there's all sorts of nerdy things. There's a Perspex sheet that's been hit by lightning, and do you want to see the trilobite? Is this what we're doing?
I want to see the trilobite. This is the glory of things like this, is that we can see the environments in which people reside. You can see, for example, that Andy from Catford lives in a completely blank sort of area and is clearly Googling something else while he's watching. So you certainly want to see Dara's trilobite. My God.
It's a dinosaur.
Is that, someone said, is that a dinosaur?
Essentially, yeah. It's not actually the same family of dinosaurs, trilobites. They're the horseshoe crab, is the only living relative of it now. It's one of the oldest and still has a direct line through.
And that is a trilobite.
Genuinely,
I didn't pay much attention in school. I was too busy juggling and being cool. Probably when I say it out loud, I don't know if I was, but from what I understand, that was once a living creature. That's not the imprint of a creature.
No, that's not. What happens is they die, they fall to the ground, and then sand covers them, and slowly they become stone. And that's what Mary Anning and all those were collecting. That's all these kind of fossils.
There was something exquisitely bleak about you saying they die and then they become stone. It was like the end.
It is. It's like that Doctor Who thing with the things those things keep turning. Yeah, but that's all fossils are. They're not a happy thing.
And it's definitely dead. God.
Oh, no, it's definitely dead. It's very
inside going.
Maybe within the stone, you hear it scratching, just scratching. Just
who is
the code?
Who is the head? Who's the bust over your right shoulder?
Oh, that's just a piece of I think it's just called Farmer. It's by an Irish artist who went to.
Oh, fair enough. I thought I dared to dream it was a relative, and I love the way. That's
Uncle Patrick. What we did is we chopped his head off, and then and we hope one day to unfreeze him and then revivify it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Is he also still alive inside?
We hope not. It'll be. He's been screaming silently for 10 years.
If he is alive, if he is alive,
happening with his brain in there, like whatever. But I just realized it is very much just like Han Solo. That is the reference I was making.
What Dara's just realised, and what we've all consequently just realised, is that people on the sofa can send little private messages which pop up on the screen. Please leave Dara alone. What's happened here is that David Hoare has addressed Dara directly without checking in with me first. Handled it like the class act he is, and now everyone thinks it's weapons free to chat to Dara. Well, fuck you. It's my show, okay?
I'm
Dara, I feel like before we let you go, I feel like we're in a unique position to hear some of the inside information about the minutiae of your career, because you famously, when you were on my Comedian's Comedian podcast, so a few years ago, you kind of gave away the farm. Like, people regard that episode as like, oh, this is how to do a big tour show in an Apollo-sized venue.
Yeah.
You come on, you do Trust Me, I'm a Comedian, you do that, then you do that, you switch that there. It's one of those episodes which I know, and because comics have been in touch to tell me, that a lot of comics heard it and went, God, that's how you do it. And a lot of other comics heard it and were like, shut up, don't say, why would you say all that? So I wanted to ask you, when you are hosting, as you do, Mock the Week, what are some of the things that are behind the scenes that you do in your position as host of Mock the Week? What are the sorts of things that structurally go on that you can tell us all how to host Mock the Week?
The most important thing is when the script is delivered, and then all of our parts are laid out in various highlighter pen, and then we just read through all of those, and the only key to that one really is listening, is because I'm just looking for anything to jump on the back of. So I'm just looking for anything that someone will say. It used to be really brutal. Yeah, Mock the Week has gone through about whatever number of different generations of performers. And it used to be quite savage, as it was famously was, and now it's not as much. But it used to be a case of it was really bang, people slicing across each other. Jigsaw pieces. All these things are jigsaw pieces, to be honest. And a lot of people deliver jokes that are like a piece that you can add another piece onto. Whereas people like Frankie, for example, delivers a corner piece each time. Like a corner piece in which there's only one bit going in.
Oh, that metaphor has me absolutely creaming my pants.
Yeah. And there's nowhere to go after that. It's the buffer at the end of the Duplo Lego set, and there is no extra bit that goes after that or whatever. But now, and I think it's a generational thing as much as anything else. I was basically waiting for a generation which was much more, we listen and we react and we mess around more. But that is totally the key to it. If there's any kind of thing, I'm not that, like, Mock does what Mock does, like whatever. I'm not saying anything regarding Mock as any kind of masterclass in it. But the only way I get through what I do is you're listening to what's being said, and then looking for anything to do. So I usually try to, fertilize jokes, add more to them, stick the extra bit on. Be the link man in midfield who just keeps the move going.
So that you've got to be the link man in midfield who allows the Duplo to be connected with the corner pieces of the jigsaw.
If that isn't in any way straining the metaphor, then yeah, that'd be perfect.
Love it. Thank you, Dara. Listen, I know you're a busy man. You have multiple children. I don't know how many children, but I know you have more than one.
They're ideally all asleep at this stage, which would be great. I will only say one quick German thing, which is I got involved in a very silly joke, and this is particularly for Moritz and for our other German friend.
Matthias?
Yes, I got involved in a very silly German joke where I tried to do a parody hipster tweet at the weekend about, everyone's like a big fan of German football now. Some of us have been watching the Bundesliga for years and would like get on. I've been actually a fan of Borussia Morten Harket for ages now. and they wrote in, go, leave the real fans alone, right? And then got hundreds of people who just saw the tone of it, didn't read the actual thing, and went, how dare you? People are allowed to watch what they want. How dare you be snobby? And I spent the entire weekend writing, look, read it again. Read it again. But other people got it, and now there's a kind of a slogan. There's a whole jerseys. There's a web page for Borussia Morten Harket. But the bit that I'm saying for Moritz more than anything else, somebody came up with a logo for this fake football team, right, with the German motto underneath, which is, and Moritz, or who's the guy? Sorry, the Matthias. Can translate. The motto of the German team is buchstäblich ein Witz.
We're going to go over to Matthias for the translation.
The translation is literally a joke.
Literally a joke. I love it.
In German, literally a joke is written.
Oh,
I don't know about that, but it's just
glorious. Because Maggie decided not to teleport in, she gave her question to Matthias. Matthias, would you now please round off the interview with Dara before we say goodbye to Dara and welcome Marcel to the show? Matthias, would you please ask Dara O'Brien a question in your inimicable style?
Guten Abend, Dara.
Guten Abend.
What's your favorite desert?
Of all the don't think you'll throw me with this. My favorite is clearly the hipster savers. The Atacama Desert in Chile is my favorite. For many reasons, not least because that was the home of the hotel in the Bond movie. One of the first, I think it's the second. Oh, the one where the guy drinks the petrol at the end. That's that desert, right? In Quantum of Solace, right? The one where Bond shoots a wall. Literally shoots a wall and the whole hotel explodes.
Yes! Was the bit I loved Quantum of Solace, but when it got to the bit where the guy was like, "Welcome to my exploding hotel," even I was like, "Are you sure?"
Why not shoot the wall while you're here? Enjoy it. And it's a real hotel. It's actually a stargazing hotel. That's why it's all got all those things. And people sit out on the desert with incredibly clear skies and set up their stuff and take deep space photographs from that hotel. I know that because the Bond girl, I made that joke at the Empire Awards, and the Bond girl came up after I'd done 5 minutes about the exploding hotel and came up and said, actually, it's a very famous hotel, that hotel.
Slammed by a Bond girl. Dara, thank you so much for joining us. People of the sofa, people on Twitch, please clap and thank Mr. Dara O'Brien. Thanks so much for being part of the show, man. Really appreciate it. I look forward to welcoming you onto the 1000th edition of this show, and thus proving you wrong and proving that it really did keep going forever, even though by that time, me and Matthias shouting hard-boiled egg at one another.
Good night.
Good night. Dara O'Brien, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're gonna do a quick thing. We've got one more quick game, and then we've got one more sensational guest for you. If you, oh God, there's another poll. The poll is: should Stu cut his own hair? Hell no, 17%. Hell yes, 83%. I'm not saying that I'm going to do this based on the results of a poll. All right, that's not my thing. Moritz, can I ask you? Do you have a drink? Do you have some liquid nearby? What have you got?
Yes.
What have
Water.
you got? You just drink from it? Just drink from it now? And Matthias, would you like to win the German off? There it is. That's resolved. So we've got, oh, hello, a last minute, I'm getting a last minute message. A last minute cupboard. Ian is in the waiting room. Shall we welcome Ian in before we play a last game?
Oh, yeah.
What we'll do, we'll wait. If you're unfamiliar with the show, Ian is a dear friend of ours. He's on the sofa very frequently, but he's in. Hey, who here on the sofa reckons? Raise your hand if you think you've been to the most of these out of everyone here tonight. There's some fresh blood, right? Bean. It's
been on the sofa.
I mean, on the sofa. Bless you, Tim. You're waving, but there's no way. No, I mean on the sofa. I know Bean has been to a few.
Sam and Rose as well.
How many have you guys done?
I've done 4. I've done 3. You've done 4.
You've done 4. You've surely done more than 4. Is anyone Tom?
Dara has done loads.
No, I think I've
done 4
as well. Yeah.
You've done 4. Anyone top 4? Yeah, Bean, have you done 5?
I feel like I've done more than 5. I'm just here all the time.
Yeah. That's the only thing Bean does, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we're going to let Ian in. Before we let Ian in, we're going to quickly play a game, and then whilst you're doing that, we'll let Ian in. So would you please, everybody, get ready to run. Get up, ladies and gentlefolk, and run and grab your most treasured possession. Your most treasured possession. Bring it back. The last one back gets kicked out to the waiting room. Be replaced with Ian. Run. So here we are. Let's admit Ian to the room. And let's just go to the chat. Does David count, says John Keogh? And it's not clear from the context there whether he means ever. Oh, yes, it is. He's written ever in brackets. Liam Green Jacket says, I'm late again. Has this been on long? It started an hour later than usual at the new late time of 9 p.m. And it's been on for an hour and 25 minutes, Liam. Pull your neck out? That's not the expression, is it?
Pull your neck in.
Yeah, thank you.
Wind your neck in.
Wind your neck in.
So here we are. Fatboy Swarps, my sweet friends are in my hands. Stu stuck in the infinite sofa dungeon, only allowed out when the show is on air. Yeah, I mean, that is arguably what's going on. Eamon Goodfellow says, get Tim to pop in the fridge. Let's try that. Tim, is that a fridge behind is that a fridge behind you?
Yeah, I thought if I put something big and white behind me, you'd know when I just spit.
Yeah, perfectly reasonable. Could you get in the how much of yourself?
No,
get in
it's not. It's a fridge. It's a fridge freezer. It's half and half.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I did once play the Kitchen Olympics on the Isle of Rothsay, and my friend Richard got completely in the fridge. Great days. He's in Star Wars now. Okay, here we are. Don't pull your neck out. It's sound advice. So we're going to look at everyone's most treasured possession. We'll look at a few of these, and then we're going to welcome the wonderful Marcel Lucont, who is going to judge your treasured possessions. So make a good case for them. Liz and Sam, it looks like it might even be
Star Wars themed. Yes, it actually represents my most treasured possession, which is the Lego Millennium Falcon. But I can't pick that up.
But after what we remember happening to Chris on this show a couple of weeks ago, when he brought his treasured gnome, it was like a golden gnome thing that he'd won, and then dropped it and smashed the fucker. I think it's sensible, Sam, to leave the Millennium Falcon elsewhere. Bean, I feel like yours is going to be something Acaster related. Come on, mate.
I mean, I feel like this has just become a running joke.
Well, your life's a running joke. Oh, signed, a signed James Acaster thing. Does James know that you're like? Does he regard you as a stalker? Do you consider that you have a threat?
I mean, I've not really met him, so probably not. Only the signing, so I'm not a stalker. I just watch a lot of his content.
I can get you some unreleased Acaster pics. Tom and Sarah, what have we got over here for a treasured possession?
I got my snowboard, and Sarah walked around for quite a long time just going, "What do I treasure?" And came back with
That is rather sweet. What do any of us treasure? I hope Ian has joined us. Ladies and gentlefolk, it's Ian. Let's give Ian some love. Thanks for coming, Ian. Great to have you here. And may I say, Ian, you scrub up very nicely indeed. Somebody shaved. Have you left the house or something?
Bits of it.
I went as far as the end of the drive.
Nice. So you had a little bit of a shave and made a bit of an effort. Good for you. Talk us through the owl, Ian.
So it is a money box, and it is a present from my mum and dad, bless them.
A present from your mum and dad?
Yeah, and then it's got lots of weird foreign money.
Hold it. Oh, I think foreign things are weird as well, Ian. I'm with you on that one.
and then, yeah, like lots of...
Oh, is that Australian?
It is. It's an East Caribbean dollar.
Oh.
East Caribbean dollar.
Yeah, go on, pick a team, Caribbean or Caribbean?
Caribbean.
Caribbean, let's go Caribbean. Why the fuck not? Great. Okay, what I'm going to ask you to do now, Ian, to test your commitment to the show, smash your treasured... No, do not smash your treasured possession. Thank you, Ian. Thank you. If you have a treasured possession that has not yet been shown off and used, then save it up. Get ready to show it to our final guest. We're going to do a sort of... well, I'll explain when we get there. You've probably already got it. But, ladies and gentle frogs, thank you so much for watching the show. Could someone... I've not got the window open. If someone could... oh, yeah, Maggie did it. Just give weird foreign money. But PayPal converted it into good old English racist cash. We need... can someone tell me in the Twitch chat how many people are watching? I'm just fascinated to know.
3,002.
What? It's gone up? What the fuck? Well, I mean, of course. So...
Confidence, Stu, confidence.
Yeah, that's
Green
right.
Jacket says 3K. He's actually rounded down. Classic Liam. Holes says the thing I treasure is a crystal maze crystal that Rich Sandling gave me for my 40th last year. Now, Rich Sandling works at the Crystal Maze thing in London. I don't know if he's allowed to take the crystals home and give them. Keep that on the DL. So here we are. If you're new, do give us a follow. That's we do whatever this is. Thank you, Callum. You've written that in my voice. What Callum's written is, if you're new, give us a follow. We do whatever this is every Monday and Thursday at 9. And he's absolutely right. If you click follow on this, and you may need to become what's the word? To sign up. You may need to sign up to Twitch in order to do that. But it's worth doing because not only will you get notified as to when we're on this, but also it will kind of hack the Twitch algorithm. Who the fuck do I think I am? And it will effectively let Twitch know that you like mad bullshit and not just people kicking ass at, think of a game, Uncharted 9? Chanted? Uncharted 9. You won't know it. It's okay. Bang! We are ready now to meet our headline act. Yes, Dara O'Brien was a mere warm-up. I hope he's not watching. I mean, he's obviously brilliant. Let's regard him now as we butter up our final guest. A mere warm-up in the sight of the towering intellect and lake of savoir-faire. I don't know what I mean. Would you please welcome with an enormous and enthusiastic round of applause, my friend, my this person. It's Marcel Lucont.
Wow. Quite an introduction. There you are. You try to invoke a bit of French cuisine by buttering me up and then attempt to do the French accent, which was, to be honest, like shitting in my ear. To be honest, I've been to more bizarre dinner parties.
Marcel, I humbly apologise. We're so grateful to you for raising the cultural bar for the show. Your background. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
I was raised in Roubaix, in the northeast of France. I attended university at the Sorbonne in Paris.
Marcel, I don't think anyone noticed, but you and I just riffed an absolute peach of an inversion joke. But I think 3,000 people watching this, about 6 of them are going to go, I like what you did there. Do continue.
Absolutely lost. Don't worry, I played a show in Australia this morning. So
you were in Australia this morning? You were gigging in Australia this morning?
Sure, it's wonderful to get a double on a Monday. Rarely is it Australia and Britain.
But this is the new world. Tell us, how are you coping with the pandemic? What is French for pandemic?
Oh, I thought you were saying, how am I coping with playing in Australia? Is the jet lag? But I've been drinking since 11 a.m., so I suppose there's that. But,
there is that. That's an element of it. Yeah. How are you? What are your lockdown circumstances, Marcel?
In the pandemic, I am solo. I am with me. That's it. And it's fine. I am superb company. It's been a wonderful time. Actually, the best time I think I've enjoyed. I get to go out. I get to see, I walk around, I get to stroll, there are no idiots around, I get to really lounge on the benches, I get to drink and smoke in the fresh air without the joggers. Oh, no smoking, cancer, So bizarre. And yet, as soon as the tiniest little ray of sunshine appears, everybody runs to the park. Oh, we like this cancer. Oh, that's the warm cancer. Get some of that. Fucking hypocrites.
Just to go over to the Twitch chat, if you wouldn't mind, we're having a lot of lovely French there. Juju au babyfoot, says Jos Viz. Fouda Fafa says it's been fun. Drinking since 11, definitely French, says David Shutter. And J.R. Hardacre says, Quel canard?
These are all the kind of idiots which I now avoid in everyday life. That's what I'm proletariat all in the streets. Now at least they are locked in the house. Coronavirus, it has its negatives, I suppose, but really, I think there are some things, I'm not a fan of it per se, but I think the lockdown, we can continue a little bit after this. What I'm saying is quarantine the stupid.
Yes, I mean, that's, it's certainly a very Gallic approach. How,
Just don't tell them it is over, Willful stupidity seems to be even more prevalent than the coronavirus.
Is there a chance that that's already been done and we are the stupid?
No.
Fair enough. Marcel, before we continue, I'm going to ask you, would you mind judging the most treasured possessions and artifacts of the people joining us on the sofa?
I do mind, but I will.
Thank you so much. And before we do that, I'm just going to ask Ian, could you just pop into the cupboard? There's a love. I think he's actually getting faster at doing that. It's a sort of a more fluid kind of a movement. I think, Marcel, Ian frequently gets into the cupboard. It's sort of become a bit of a running thing.
Sure, like a double quarantine. He's not quarantined enough.
Exactly right. A double quarantine. In fact, Ian, pop your head out, love. Is there anything else, like you could be wearing like a duvet cover to make this a triple quarantine?
Just get a duvet.
Cracking. You crack on with that. We'll get on with the show. So, can I ask you? My God, Marcel almost cracked a smile.
I'm so bewildered. I have been drinking since. I don't know. Is this up? I don't know what is occurring.
Marcel, would you care to judge the most treasured possession of Tom? Tom, can you just hold it up and talk us through it again there for Marcel?
Here you go, Marcel. This is my snowboard, which I last used in France.
In France,
Yeah.
okay. I'm not a fan of the extreme sporting, to be honest. It's not for me. France, I don't know. We accept the skiers, we take the money, but we look down on snowboarding and the skiing a little. And New Zealand, Australia, I play there all the time. They do the extreme sporting. They say, "Oh, you must try all this. Do this. Come to New Zealand. Do the extreme sport. Jump from a plane. Throw yourself off a thing attached to another thing. Roll down the hill like a fucking hamster." Parkour. And with parkour, wonderful. Gets you from A to B. Stylishly.
Oh, I love a bit of parkour. If you're not familiar with parkour, people on the sofa, it's basically French jumping. Absolutely.
Compared to, say, bungee, get you from A back to A again with less money and more shit in your clothes.
Is there a chance that this is becoming an extreme sport for Ian? I worry that you're a bit warm. Are you a bit warm in there, Ian? He's okay. He's okay. Ladies and gentle fellows, he's okay. Shari, do you have for us a treasured possession that you could invite for criticism? Oh my God!
Yeah, these are the years, and they're all of them, and they're all the like really rare ones. But they remind me of when I used to play with my brother, and bring up very warm memories.
Oh, that's wonderful. Can I just ask everyone else on the sofa, did Shari's connection go wobbly there? Because if it didn't, then mine might be fucked. Did it?
Yes.
Yes, it did. Yes. Good. Thank you. Good to know. Marcel, what do we think? Pokemon collection.
I thought Pokemon was the lead on the phone, on the digital. This is Pokemon analog.
The original and best. What are you? Do you play any card games, anything like this? Do you have any collections yourself, Marcel?
The strip poker collection. I have a wonderful strip poker. It's it's designed only for strip poker. It's not to be played in normal poker. If you play it in normal poker, it just does not work. It's strip poker cards only.
Oh, I see.
Actually, the Dara story, recalling a time I was in Zurich with the music and stripping story. I was in Zurich, I believe, to be in Dadaist strip club with the stripper dancing to John Cage for minutes 33. Turns out, not at all. The PA system was just fucked. She wanted to earn her money that night, so she continued.
It's a lovely highbrow joke, and I hope it shed 500 people who weren't going to come back anyway. Marcel, let's look at. Let's please see Moz. Moz, what's your most treasured possession, my friend?
Yeah, signed picture of Meatloaf.
Oh, a signed picture of Meatloaf. Thoughts on that, Marcel?
I would rather have seen some signed Meatloaf by an artist.
Mia, what have you got for us? Remind us your most treasured possession.
I grabbed it. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's just an old jewellery box. It's Edwardian, apparently.
Edwardian, Marcel?
Yeah.
Can we see what is inside?
Yeah, just some cheap jewellery.
There we are. Of course it is. I knew you were hiding something. It was a little décolletage for some shit jewelry. And looking into everybody's lounge, I can see the jewelry, the decor. You are all going for this very British thing, the shabby chic. British. It's so bizarre to us. If something is shabby, It's not chic. That's how that works.
We're going to
Cannot
go.
simply place two incongruous words together and expect them to work. The shabby chic. Fun run. After Brexit, it does not work.
We're going to go to Bojana. Bojana, what have you got for us there?
So definitely not an extreme sport. It's a snooker ball signed by Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Snooker ball signed by Ronnie O'Sullivan. What? Honestly, if you had to make a list of all of the objects and all of the people who possess the objects, I think I would not have guessed that you had a signed snooker ball from Ronnie O'Sullivan. I don't know, Marcel. What are your thoughts?
Was it signed during the game? Before the game. So you go and interrupt him in the dressing room before the game.
Pre-arranged.
With a ball.
Prearranged.
Prearranged.
Oh. Meet and greet.
You met Ronnie O'Sullivan down an alley before the game. With you.
I wish.
Lovely. Thank you, Marcel. Let's go one last one. Let's go to Flossie. What's Flossie got for us?
This is the teddy bear that was given to me, and this might explain something to you. When I cracked my head open and half my brain fell out when I was 4.
Good. I'll let Marcel field this one.
You should not have. So, who gave you this bear for the loss of brains? No. Just to check, the brains are put back inside?
No, I don't know. I don't think you can do that. I think once it's gone, it's gone.
So, okay.
I'm not a doctor. I went to art school.
I don't think anyone here thought you were a doctor, Flossie.
Rude.
So the bear, okay, is this a tradition in England? You lose a body part, you are given a bear.
I can't say anything for England, but it was a tradition in my family.
For the brain or for other parts, so you lose a knee?
All kinds of parts. Whatever injury, that's when you get a toy.
Okay, so you have to know your ears from your elbow.
Yeah.
French bear joke.
Yeah, beautiful, very beautiful. Urs from elbow, very, very nice, classy. Now, Marcel, to round off the show, what we would ordinarily do is ask our guest if they were able to get a friend to do an emergency impression of them and send it via video, such that you could show us a friend of yours doing an impression of you on your phone via video. Now, that may not be possible. It is late after all, and I don't know whether you're popular enough to have friends.
Wow.
It's so sexy when he's disappointed in me.
I'm not disappointed, just angry.
What I thought we could do, because we had a lovely idea over in the Twitch chat. I forget who saw it and who said it. Oh, here we go. Wallace Mann says, can Marcel do an English accent?
You are pushing me. What do you wish me to say in the English accent?
Oh, good point. Can we have a suggestion on the Twitch chat? What would we like? To? Well, someone in the Twitch chat has said, I'm starting to need a wee now.
Okay, that will do. I am starting to need a wee now.
It was good. I liked it. Let's have one more. All right, Governor. Could you say for us, all right, Governor?
All right, Governor. No. Okay, no. Let's do it. All right, Governor. Governor. All right, Governor.
That's pretty convincing. For the Queen, says Warrior MK. And Uber Sausage shouts demonics. I don't really know why. Ladies and gentlefolk, I think we have come to the end of the show. Someone on the Twitch chat said they needed a wee. It was Heather. That's Heather. She needs a wee. I need a wee as well. Hey, here's a fun item. Hands up if you need a wee. Yeah, a couple of wees. I need a wee. Great. David, do you need a wee?
I nipped off for one in the middle of myself.
What the fucking fuck?
It was that, or actually just wet myself.
Marcel, I can only humbly apologise. I feel David has rather blotted his copybook there and brought the whole show into disrepute. Is there anything we can do to make it up to you before we end the show?
Sure, you can all tune in to my own show on a Thursday night.
Ooh, tricky. What time on a Thursday, Marcel?
It's Lucont's Lush Lockdown Lounge, 9 p.m. UK time on a Thursday. It's in season 2, starts on Thursday.
9 p.m. on a Thursday. I'm going to be busy, but maybe some people on my couch might like to go there at about... How long does it go on for? Do you run till about sort of 10:45?
No, I keep it tight so it does not lose interest. Leave them wanting more. No filler. No filler.
Where can we find that, please, Marcel?
YouTube / Marcel Lucont, or you can, if you sign up for on marcellucont.com, you can be part of the newsletter and part of the audience.
What's the audience? Is there is it similar tech to this?
Yeah, but better. You know, it's similar, but comme ci comme ça. It's but it's better. And we have themes every week. It was going to be called Marcel Lucont's Chaise Very Long, but it was being similar to what we have now. By Infinite Sofa, you are interpreting that this will continue forever. It's quite a pessimistic title, to be honest.
That's fair.
You wish the quarantine to continue infinitely.
Well, with all respect to the dead and dying, I'm having a whale of a time. On that horrific note, let us bid farewell, adieu to Marcel Lucont. Thank you so much for joining us, Marcel. Thank you. Lots of claps there. Cheers, kids. There's Checksum. Thank you. Where is Marcel's show? Said Lee in Green Jackets. I mean, it barely matters. What with the time clash. So, my attention... that is, again, it's a smouldering look, but this time I'm muting him. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. This is pretty much it. If you donate to the show, if you support us at infinitesofa.com or by pressing the support the Infinite Sofa button, the big one that says donate over a picture of my face below the Twitch winger, the window. God, it is late. I need a wee too. Then you are in with a chance. You go in the pool of people from whom we select the people on the sofa next time. You too could be forced to stay in a cupboard for, my God, how long has he been in there? Ian, let's give Ian a huge round of applause as he runs sweaty and hot to the... Ian? Oh, God. Oh, God, Ian, are you all right? Thank you so much, Ian. Thank you. It looked warm in there, and it's an absolute test of your faith. David, do you think you could arrange to be seated in front of a cupboard for the next show on Thursday?
Could make it work, yeah.
Could make it work. Absolutely could make it work. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, for 25 years, I've been trying to make crowds happen and learning how to do that. And now they're illegal and you can't do them anymore. So this is my job. And we're trying to make it work. If you can support this show in any way you fancy, either by donating to it for a chance to be on it, and even if you don't want to be on it, you can still donate fucking anyway and just tear up the invite and put it in the bin. If you're able to do that with email, then you have powers and you should use them for good, not squander them on tearing up invites for things. But support the show. You can like it, tell people about it. IRL. We are, of course, all IRL. Maybe if you're a dev, you could chuck an app together or just carry on being a kind of thing. Notified, become a follower of this. You can get notified. We're going to raid Robotron after this. So when we lose a connection, we're going to raid the wonderful Robotron. My friend, fabulous comedian from Australia, resident in the UK, John Robertson, creator of The Dark Room, which I remain one of the only 2 people ever to have escaped. But we're going to go Robotron. I'm not quite sure what he's up to now, but stick around for that. If you don't fancy the raid, if you're not in the mood for that and you'd like to carry on the after party, then if you are on the mailing list of the Infinite Sofa, you will already have the login details for the green room, which I'm almost calling David Hoare's green room. How long did you guys all stay in it last time, Dave?
We were there for 2 hours, I think. We were playing with Lego.
Half 1 in the morning, we finished.
Avatars into the shape of a cock and balls, but I'm sure it's more highbrow this time.
It's not.
To be kept abreast of that. Listen. listen, guys, most people who support the sofa pay £3, £5, £10, but the people who can afford to pay that subsidise the people who can't. And I love your applause, but I can't go to the bank and pay my mortgage by going, yeah, great house. So really, do your best, support the sofa, and once we get really mega up and running, turbo, then what's that, David?
No, it was me.
Oh, it wasn't David. I thought I was being heckled during the all-important money bit. Well,
it was me. Have you tried it? Have you tried applauding your bank manager?
Have I tried applauding my bank manager? That is a craftily timed heckle. Let's try it. Let's try it now, Tim. You play the role of the bank manager.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you be the bank manager. What do you do for a living, Tim? Remind us.
Bank manager.
For very fast.
I'm not a bank manager.
Okay. What do you do in real life?
IT stuff.
IT stuff. You can tell
Guess
some
what?
stories. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he a dev?
I know. I do. Okay. Oh, I do comedy and music as well.
Oh, okay. Great stuff. So you be the bank manager. I'll be me. Hey, listen, I haven't got any money for you, but I'm just going to clap because it was such a great. Thank you. Thank you very much. How is that?
Here's an overdraft.
Okay. Thanks, for helping. Histor Crow points out on the stream chat that he is in fact a dev, and we're pleased to have him here. Listen, gang, next show is on Thursday with Andy Zoltzman, John Luke Roberts as Chaucer, Sarah Barron, and my comedy niece Hannah George. And we script the show at 11 a.m. on the morning of the show. So join us at 11 a.m. on this channel to script the show. Who knows what surprises and fun things might happen. Also, I'm doing a special version of this show, which you can't come to, but it's on Wednesday. It's for the charity Calm, the campaign against living miserably. So I'm going to be scripting that show at 11 on Wednesday morning if you want to pop into that and lay them loads of traps and landmines and stuff that will blow up in my face when I try to do the show. That's everything. Like the show, share the show, subscribe it, get notified, become a follower. It gladdens my heart to see the little stream report afterwards when they say 3,000 people watched, 30 became followers. Just, I don't want to pitch too low. It was about 89 last time, but listen, I want not the chaff, but the wheat. So if you're the wheat, click follow and let's do that. Let's go raid Robichon, everybody. If you're not raiding Robichon, we'll see you in the green room. Thank you. I love you. That's our show. Give it up for Marcel Lucont. You saw Dara, Briain. You've got Elf Lyons as the sea monster, Richard Sandling of Perfect Movies fame, and my lunatic friends Daredevil Chicken. And you saw everybody on the sofa tonight. Thank you so much, Heather, Bean, Moz, Matthias. Thank you, Brianna. Thanks, Cousin Sam, Flossie, Tim, Shari, Mia, Andy, Maritz. I think Anne-Marie's left, and who could blame her? Tom and Sarah. It was David Hawke. Producer Callum looked after all this stuff. Join us next time. I've been Stu Goldsmith. Bye-bye.